Giza, Egypt, 2011. Let's picture this. You're in the harem area. It's just, a few miles from the absolute chaos of Tahrir Square during the revolution.
Yeah, this is the time where that national upheaval, the protests, the sheer uncertainty, it felt really close, palpable.
Right. And this was the period they called the Friday of Rage. Just
Yeah.
constant, sometimes violent turbulence right out there on the streets.
But inside one particular apartment, pretty modest place, life was meant to be, well, different, shielded, defined by quiet faith.
This was the home of Sheikh Ahmed Amer and his wife, Mona Saeed Abdel Latif. Sheikh Ahmed, he was only 29, severely disabled by muscular atrophy, needed a wheelchair.
But despite that, he was a real pillar in his community,
Oh.
a respected religious teacher, a hafiz. He'd memorized the entire Quran.
And because of his condition, his home basically was his school, right? It had to be an open house.
Exactly. Students, neighbors, friends, just a constant flow of people coming and going all day, every day. Total trust was the foundation.
Until this Friday, when somehow the rage from the city outside found its way in.
Yeah. So after the midday Friday prayers, you have students, some neighbors, turning up as usual, expecting that open door.
But it wasn't. The door was closed tight. They knocked, called out his name. Nothing. Just silence.
Which was unusual, right? So after some hesitation, they figure out a way that you lift the small child up to the window just to peek inside.
And the sound that came in next? Just a child's scream. That was the first horrible signal that something was deeply, terribly wrong inside.
The neighbors, hearing that, they force their way in. And what they find is just, it's a scene of terrible contradictions. Sheikh Ahmed is there, in his wheelchair, motionless.
Dead.
Dead. His mouth, his hands, his legs, all bound tightly with this very specific kind of medical adhesive tape.
But that wasn't all. The horror wasn't over. His wife, Mona, she was found on the bed.
Also bound, gagged with the same tape, but her death, it was violent, viscous. She'd been beaten badly. She was partially closed and her throat had been slit. The scene was just horrific, blood everywhere.
So the initial assessment, right there at the scene, it must have been baffling for the police.
Completely baffling. You have this double murder, clearly executed with some cold efficiency, targeting this defenseless, respected man and his wife. But zero signs of forced entry. Nothing.
Which leads to that immediate, chilling thought.
Yeah. The killer wasn't some random intruder breaking in. The killer walked right through the front door. It was someone they knew, someone they trusted, implicitly.
And that's the core mystery we're really digging into today. How did the police piece together these tiny, contradictory clues to unmask a killer hidden behind this perfect facade of piety? And what does that betrayal tell us?
It's a deep dive into deception, really.
So let's talk about the victims first, because their lives, their devotion, it actually sets up the motive in a tragic way. Sheikh Ahmed, like we said, beloved teacher.
Relied totally on Mona, his wife,
Right.
who was, interestingly, 11 years older than him.
And their story is quite something, isn't it? She wasn't just married to him.
No, not at all. It wasn't convenience. She actually proposed to him. Specifically, she wanted to dedicate her life to his care and also, crucially, to learn religion directly from him.
Wow.
Yeah. So their marriage was this deep partnership, faith, mutual devotion. Everyone around them, family, the community, they really valued that relationship.
And it was that very devotion, that care, that unintentionally put a target on them.
How so?
Well, just 2 days before the murder, on the Thursday, Sheikh Ahmed wanted to show his appreciation for everything Mona did, a big gesture. He asked his sisters to go out and buy a significant gold gift for her.
Ah, okay, so this wasn't just a small token. We're talking substantial gold.
Exactly. Valued around 800 Egyptian pounds at the time, which, for their modest life, that's a pretty significant amount of wealth suddenly visible in their home.
Right. A gesture of love that tragically became bait.
So when the investigators started processing the scene, the physical evidence told two kind of different stories about how the murders happened, didn't it? What did forensics find?
Well, it confirmed that initial contradiction. No struggle at the door, suggesting maybe the killer was let in willingly or maybe victims were sedated somehow.
Okay.
But then the specifics. Sheikh Ahmed's toxicology report showed huge doses of sedatives in his system. So definitely an attempt to incapacitate him chemically first.
But he wasn't just sedated.
No. After that, he was physically strangled or asphyxiated. The tape binding him likely contributed too.
So calculation first with the poison, but then direct physical violence.
Exactly. But with Mona, it felt different. more frenzied. She was brutally beaten multiple times before her throat was cut. Just extreme violence.
And there was clear evidence of robbery, too.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Forensics noted a specific tear on her left ear, a traumatic wound consistent with an earring being ripped out forcefully.
So grabbing the gold was part of it. We've got premeditation, bringing the sedatives, that specific tape, but also this explosion of rage against Mona. What about that tape and the drugs? Why were they so important?
They were the linchpins, really, that wide medical adhesive tape and the specific type and large quantity of sedative. These weren't things you just find lying around their apartment.
Okay.
It strongly suggested a pre-packed kit. Someone came prepared not just to subdue, but potentially to kill. Confirmed it was planned.
You can just imagine the investigators arriving. This place, an open school, like you said, people in and out constantly. The crime scene must have been a fingerprint disaster zone.
Yeah, an absolute nightmare. That's exactly what it was initially. Just a chaotic mess of prints from countless visitors.
Yeah.
Students, family, neighbors.
So matching prints was going nowhere fast.
Basically impossible at the start.
Yeah.
And with no forced entry pointing towards trust, they had this huge pool of trusted people they had to change tack.
From who was there to how those specific items got there.
Precisely. The focus shifted. Who had access? Who had the means? But crucially, who could have obtained that specific sedative and that specific type of wide medical tape?
Right, track the tools.
Exactly. They started interviewing everyone. Anyone who saw or spoke to the sheikh on the Thursday or that Friday morning, students, family, they all had solid alibis. Normal interactions reported. They were clear.
Except one person.
Except one. This is where, sometimes it comes down to detectives' intuition. Gut feeling.
Who was it?
A student named Mohamed Fathallah Al-Husseini. He'd studied quite a bit of the Quran with the sheikh, about 8 parts.
Okay, so seemingly a dedicated student. What was his story?
Al-Husseini gave what sounded like a rock-solid alibi. Said he was nowhere near Haram during the crucial time window. He claimed he went to Friday prayers and then straight to Tahrir Square for the Friday of Rage protests.
Miles away, and a massive crowd, potentially thousands of witnesses, though maybe hard to verify anyone specific.
Right, it seemed airtight. And neighbors, even the sheikh's family, vouched for him initially. Just another respected student.
But the police weren't buying it.
Not entirely. Something about his demeanor, his eyes. They had what experienced investigators call a security sense. A feeling that he wasn't being truthful, despite the strong alibi.
That's a big risk, focusing on someone with such a public alibi.
It was. But they kept digging. And about 12 days later, that persistence paid off. Big time.
How did they finally crack it? The alibi seems so strong.
It cracked in 2 places almost simultaneously. First, a detective found a pharmacist, a Dr. Mina. And Dr. Mina remembered a very specific, unusual sale on that Friday morning just before prayers.
What was the sale?
A man bought 2 rolls of that distinctive wide medical adhesive tape and a very large quantity of sedatives.
The exact items from the crime scene. Did the buyer give a reason?
Yeah, a story. Claimed he needed the stuff to sedate and restrain his brother, who he said was a drug addict trying to run off.
And Dr. Mina.
When they showed Dr. Mina the photo array, he picked out Al-Husseini immediately. That was him, the buyer.
Wow.
And then at the same time, the tech side came through. Geographical tracing of Al-Husseini's mobile phone signal. It completely shattered his Tahrir Square story.
Where did it place him?
Squarely in the Haram area, right near the sheikh's apartment. During the exact time frame the murders were committed, his alibi just evaporated.
So the mask comes off. This wasn't just a student having a bad feeling about him. This was something much darker. Who was Mohamed Fathallah Al-Husseini, really?
The background check revealed the truth. He wasn't just a student. He was 36 years old, originally from Damietta. And he was a registered felon with a long history, 14 prior cases. And critically, a serious heroin addict.
Addiction. That explains the desperation.
Absolutely. And the timing, 2011, post-revolution.
Yeah.
It's key. There was this trend, almost a cover, where people were joining religious groups, becoming visibly pious. Al-Husseini seems to have grabbed onto that.
As a disguise.
Exactly. A perfect disguise to hide his criminal past, to gain trust, get access to homes like the sheiks, and ultimately to find ways to get money for his heroin habit. Fast.
So his piety was a performance, a tool. And during his visits, being welcomed in, he must have noticed Mona's gold, especially that new, valuable gift she received just the day before.
That appears to be the trigger. He needed money, badly. The addiction was driving him. The gold was right there, a visible target. But his motive seems to have twisted into something uglier than just robbery.
How so? His psychology was warped.
Deeply cynical, it seems. Warped by the addiction, maybe by his criminal life. He apparently viewed everyone with suspicion initially, even Mona.
He didn't believe her devotion was real?
No. He reportedly thought she was faking it, just pretending piety, maybe using the sheik for her own benefit. He even apparently tried to initiate some kind of inappropriate relationship with her.
Testing her, or trying to corrupt her.
Maybe trying to expose what he thought was her hypocrisy. But when she firmly rejected him, proving her genuine virtue, well, it didn't make him back.
It made things worse.
It seems so. Instead of respecting her, it appears to have enraged him. Like he couldn't stand that genuine goodness when his own life was so depraved that rejection might have solidified his decision. Rob them, yes, but also silence them, both of them, permanently.
Okay, let's walk through the crime itself now. That Friday morning, he has his supplies.
Right. Buys the tape and the sedatives from Dr. Mina, then goes to the Sheikh's house. He's welcomed in, of course, trusted student.
It's the first move.
He offers to make a drink for the Sheikh. A kind gesture, easily accepted, and he slips that massive dose of sedative into it.
Calculated, but then a mistake. He gets impatient.
Yeah, it seems the heroin kicked in. While he was waiting for the sedative to work on the Sheikh, Al-Husseini apparently went to the bathroom to take his own hit of heroin.
Okay.
He comes out, but the sedative hasn't fully knocked the Sheikh out yet, and heroin often makes addicts agitated and impatient. He couldn't wait any longer. He decided to act. Now.
Attacking the Sheikh while he was still conscious, or semi-conscious.
Seems that way. He jumps on him, binds his mouth, hands, feet with that tape. The Sheikh is disabled, completely unable to resist physically anyway, but now he's gagged and bound too.
And then he strangles him, even after all that.
Yes, strangles him to death. Mona hears the commotion from another room, and this is where the manipulation just becomes bone-chilling.
He has to cover up what just happened, fast.
He does, with a disturbingly calm lie. He tells Mona, who comes to check, that, oh, the Sheikh was just talking loudly online with someone, he got tired, everything's fine.
And she believes him.
Apparently so. Trust. He then moves Sheikh Ahmed's body, still in the wheelchair, into the bedroom, hiding the immediate horror.
And then the final fatal deception for Mona.
He pretends to leave, makes a show of it, opens the front door, closes it loudly, trying to trick her into thinking the visitor, the student, is gone and she's safe.
So she lowers her guard.
Exactly. The moment she steps out of her room, maybe going to check on her husband properly now, Al-Husseini confronts her. He'd hidden himself inside, and now he has a knife.
He attacks her immediately.
Strikes her head hard, multiple times. Before she can really scream or react, he gags her mouth with the same adhesive tape. Silences her cries.
Then drags her into the bedroom.
Drags her into the bedroom where her husband's body is. Assaults her, and then the final act, slits her throat. Using the very tape he bought just hours before as part of his murder kit.
A coldness of it. And then afterwards, he didn't just flee.
No. This speaks volumes about his mindset. After all that brutality, he becomes methodical again. He cleans up the blood as best he can, collects the gold, any money he can find.
Gathers the evidence.
Crucially, yes. Gathers the empty sedative packaging and any leftover tape, the knife, anything connecting him directly. Then he locks the door from the outside, using their key, presumably.
And then he goes to the mosque and Tahrir Square.
Unbelievably, yes. Goes straight to the mosque for the Friday prayers, then proceeds to Tahrir Square right into the protesting crowds to build that alibi. Only after performing that public piety does he flee to Damietta, presumably to sell the gold and buy more heroin.
It's just, the depth of the betrayal is staggering. This image the community had, the trusted student, the man of faith, shattered, revealed as this desperate, predatory killer hiding behind religion itself.
Yeah, the shock in the community was immense. Even after the arrest, faced with the evidence, people apparently struggled, refused to believe that the Quran student they knew could be this monster.
But the evidence held up.
Overwhelmingly. The pharmacist's ID, the specific tape and sedative, the phone's geolocation data.
Sure.
It was irrefutable. It completely destroyed his alibi. Mohamed Fathallah Al-Husseini was convicted. The sentence was execution.
When you look back at this case, the tragedy of Sheikh Ahmed and Mona, it really serves as this chilling reminder, doesn't it? That sometimes the most abhorrent darkness can hide behind the most respected masks, especially in times of chaos, like 2011.
Absolutely. Desperation, addiction. They can drive people to use any cover, any facade, piety, community ties, professional status to get what they need, to exploit trust in the most profound way.
You know, thinking about it, what really stands out is that contrast you mentioned earlier. The cold calculation of the planning, the cleanup, juxtaposed with the frenzied violence against Mona.
Yeah.
And then going straight to the mosque and the protest.
It's deeply unsettling. That switch between methodical planning, brutal violence, and then immediately performing public piety. Was establishing the alibi truly the most important thing in that moment, more than just escaping? Or was there some twisted psychological need for him to act the part of the pious man, even seconds after committing such horror? It's a question that really lingers.